Some of you may not realize how that you order chickens, and I order mine from Murray McMurray Hatchery out of Iowa, and I didn't expect it because I just have gone by the post office here in my hometown. I literally just went by the post office. As soon as I get home, the phone rings, because when you order chickens from McMurray Hatchery, they put your phone number on the package of the chickens, and they call you from the post office to let you know that they have your chickens. Well, of all things, as soon as I get in my driveway after going to the post office to check to see if my chickens had arrived, well, guess what? They arrived right after I left the post office. And tomorrow was Juneteenth, and I know that the post office was going to be closed tomorrow. So I was a little concerned about the chicks because they did ship out yesterday. I didn't want them to be just sitting around anywhere. And so the chicks are there. I'm now leaving to go get my chicks at the post office to meet the postal lady. And I was worried about the chicks being out too long, because mortality rate is really. What's the biggest mistake, if you know of any, that you've heard when they're ordering chicks through the post office? Is there anything that you've heard that's a nightmare that people need to be dealing with, or everything goes pretty smooth?
It goes pretty smooth. Most of the time, if there's any complications, it's because their telephone number is not on the box of chickens.
So it's important to coordinate with the hatchery to make sure that your information is on the box when it gets to the post office. Very important information.
And make sure that it's not real hot weather either.
Yeah.
Right, or
One of them
cold.
will die, yeah, or cold.
Yeah.
And make sure you're not going to be on vacation when they show up.
Yeah.
Don't order and then leave town for a few days.
Yeah.
Or don't order on the week of Juneteenth and the post office be closed, right?
Uh-huh.
Right, like I did. Yeah, I'm so thankful they came, and I didn't mind coming back.
Well, even if they would have came tomorrow, we still have a clerk that will come in, and if there was chickens on the truck, we would call and get them delivered.
Now, are there quite a few people, you just delivered from Silva's where you picked them up. You went all the way to Andrews and delivered some. You went all the way to Murphy and delivered some.
I had to drop some off at Whittier, Bryson City, and then us and Andrews, and yeah.
So the home chicken business is getting busy.
It is.
You didn't used to do that, did you?
Not quite as much as we have this year. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people raising their own chickens.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, when's she coming back? But she's already texted me, I'm going to get chickens, but I ain't had time to check.
People are raising their own chickens so they can have their own eggs, right? So all of them in this one box.
All of them, but they're divided out.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you got 36 chickens in this one box. And it could be 60, they'll put that many in them. It's a good method the way they've got it. The U.S. Post Office is the mainstay for every bit of it.
Yes, it is.
It sure is. Thank you so much.
You're
I'll let you get
welcome.
to your customers.
Yes.
And
Who knew? I did not know that.
What's that?
That they ship.
Yes, we
Yep.
pick chickens up.
it's a very common thing now. You can ship your baby chicks straight to your door. I ordered them. They were shipped yesterday. They're here today. That's quick.
That's crazy.
All the way from Iowa.
Iowa?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, wow.
These came all the way from
Yeah,
Iowa.
that is quick.
Look how beautiful they are. Look at that one picking on the others. Of course, I have some starter feed and water. I'll keep a good close watch on them. And then in a couple of days, I'll move them to my starter chick cage that I have. They haven't had anything to eat yet since they left the hatchery. They left the hatchery yesterday. So let's count them off together. What I do is I'll inspect them a little bit, look at their eyes. And then what I'll do is I'll put their beak down in the water, and then they'll be fine. 1, and then we got 2.
We'll keep doing that until I get them all through there. I want to know where the water's at. Okay, all I do is hold them, and I put my finger over their head, stick their beak down in the water. You'll see that they'll drink. That way they know what they're doing. They're not fragile, as you might suspect, but they're fairly tough.
They'll drink that first water, and they are fine. Now, if you look in the box that they come in, it's not even soiled hardly any at all. And the reason it isn't is because they're not fed after they're hatched. And little baby chicks are very tough as soon as they're hatched. Very clean box, no smell. These are some happy chicks. No mortality situations in the shipping here. Look at the markings on these babies. Beautiful, beautiful Americana chicks. See this? Another thing that you can always tell about Americana, they don't have yellow feet. They have kind of a grayish color foot. Instinct tells them exactly what to do. They're going straight for the water, straight for the food. The key is I'm going to be taking this water out and the food out every day, washing it down, sanitizing it, drying it, putting it back, and keeping their environment extremely sanitary and clean. Fresh shavings every day for the next 2 or 3 days. And I know that sounds a little bit overkill to be that particular, but the first couple of weeks of their life is extremely important for the health and well-being of the baby chicks. I don't want to put them in a larger container till tomorrow or the next day. McMurrayhatchery.com is where I go online. I set up my account. You order what type of chicken breed that you want to order to get to your farm. You have many choices. You could be focused on egg layers, you could be focused on meat chickens, or you could be focused on a combination of both. Americana is a combination of both. It's not as fast of a growing chicken as, say, a Cornish cross, but at the same time, it's a very good breed, especially if you're free-ranging, and my chickens here run free on the farm. They're not kept in fences, they're not kept in cages. They do come in at night. They train very well, they're very smart, and when the sun starts going down, they're going to come in automatically. I don't have to worry about whether they're coming in or not, unless a predator has attacked them sometime during that day. They're going to come in at night. So I never have any problem with this breed. For the most part, if you order male, you get male. If you order female, you get female. If you order unsexed, you get a mix of both. You just don't know what you're getting, how many male, how many female. I order unsexed when I ordered this particular batch. And it comes very quickly. The order took place a couple of days ago. It shipped out yesterday, and it delivered today. So that's how quickly it comes. These birds are very fresh. Now, if they had stayed in the mail system, it comes USPS, United States Postal Service. When it does, they treat the chickens tremendously well, and you would not believe how accommodating the Postal Service has been when ordering chicks. I put them in a tote so I can keep them close. And then over the next 2 days after that, I'll put them into a wire cage that I have just for the baby chicks. And I'll keep them in there for a couple of weeks. Then I'll start moving them outside into a wired fenced area where they can range. And I keep them in a certain area that has very short grass. And then I move that around. I get them used to being moved around. But I bring them in every night into that larger wire cage that I have to get them used to a routine of, being accustomed to me, being around them, touching them, and managing them, and a routine of when to come in and, not. Because, even though they have instinct, it's good to stay on track with that. And then once they get to the point to where they can fly out of the wire, and I usually don't put that wire very high, maybe 40, 50 inches high. When they're able to fly on top of that wire, they're going to get out and you can't keep them in that wire. And that's fine. Let them run. That's what I do. I let them run. But by that time, they're about 3-4 weeks old. Then they can come in on their own, and they will. They'll come in on their own. You may have a few stragglers that you have to find. You have to keep a count on your chicks. But I will tell you this. Normally, if you have a few that don't come in, they're easy to find. They're either in a corner of something. They usually get in that same corner every night. And eventually they get to the point to where you can depend on them to be inside. I've had some that always would get into a certain corner of the barn on the outside, and I'd go out there with a tote, and I'd take the lid of the tote, and I'd just hold the tote down and rake them into the tote, bring them inside every night until eventually I didn't have to worry about them at all. So God bless you. I hope you enjoy this journey, and I hope that you take on, if you're ever going to get into homesteading, I would say the first animal that you need to practice being a homesteader with, if you're going to have animals, before you get a cow, before you get hogs or anything else, sheep or anything, get some chickens. They're the easiest creature to take care of, and they make the best pest control you could ever imagine around your home or your barn, and help you keep the ticks and the bugs, the spiders, and what have you down, which is a very important part of being organic around a farm, because if you don't, then you're going to have to use chemicals to keep your bugs down, obviously. I like to use chickens to keep the bugs down. That's one of the main reasons I keep them around. Plus, it is nice to have fresh eggs on the table in the mornings. God bless you from the Welch Family Homestead. This is Jeff Welch.